Well, back in the old days when I was just becoming a car guy, you could get a Chevrolet, a Pontiac, a GMC, basically all the same car. There was a Plymouth, a Dodge, a Chrysler, just about all the same car. There was Lincoln, Mercury, and Ford, just about all the same car. The American automobile companies had figured out how to get more money out of our pockets building the same car and putting different badges on it. This is badge engineering. Now, somehow that's evolved into branding. Frankly, I remain in a constant state of confusion about what branding really is, and it turns out the more people we talk to, the more we realize that it's different impressions on different people, and it makes for a very interesting study. We went to the Big Fish Pond, the Canadian International Auto Show, and talked to a lot of supposed experts on branding as to what it was all about, and then we couldn't resist going out to our Crown Hard Drive studio, spend some time with Freeman Young, and see what he thought. All of this on the subject of branding.
It started with rocks and trees. Didn't even show the car at first. And I guess we've broadened from there, but I think we've always remained true to that first aesthetic, which was the brand is more than the hardware. It's also the hardware that goes along with it. And the way you're treated is just as important as what you're driving. And that's kind of remained consistent all the way through. So if I had to encapsulate it in 30 years, the whole idea back then, or 20 years, the whole idea back then was it was more than just the car, and that's still the case.
Brand primarily to me is responsibility. It's a tradition that mark represents, and it's a promise that it represents going forward. It's really, really important to always obtain or maintain the highest of standards. It's a responsibility you look at every single day when you see that logo of that particular brand, and the longer it's around and the more it represents, the more the responsibility. Our brand, Audi, is getting stronger in Canada every year. We're over 11% of the worldwide sales of Audi now, where we were about 3% only about 8 years ago. People see that logo and they want to recognize it as a safety valve almost. It's a sign on the building. I know I can go there and be taken care of. It's a sign on the car. I know that one's safe, it's fast, it'll perform well. It has cachet at the country club. It's what I want to be seen with.
I think from an Infiniti standpoint, we are the performance luxury brand that's there to inspire, and not just inspire with the vehicle, the look of the vehicle, it's the performance of the vehicle, it's the interior of the vehicle, it's the showroom, it's the customer service, it's the facility, it's from start to finish, and that is what a true brand is all about.
Well, as you know, the industry had a big challenge last year, and the challenge continues. We're happy that we were able to focus on our plan. And our plan was to really focus on the products that we build. And I think that has been resonating more and more with our customers. The Ford brand last year was the #1 selling brand in the country. So people are gaining back faith in our brand, and that's because of our products. And I mean, we're not looking at competition. We say we need to talk to our customer. What do they want? They want quality. They want value. They want fuel efficiency. They want technology. They want green. Let's go with that and build the cars that they want and value and cherish. And that's why, like I said before, the Ford brand last year was the best-selling brand in the country. And that's because customers have confidence in our brand, are going in our dealership, talking to our dealers, looking at our vehicles and saying, wow, look at Ford, what Ford is doing.
I think sort of Ford's new success is both branding and edgy products. I mean, we have now cars from Europe that we've always wanted in North America, the Fiesta and the new Ford Focus. I mean, this is fantastic. Their F-150 has always been one of the strongest trucks in the marketplace. And they have cars that pretty much any generation would like to drive. I mean, if you look at the Lincoln MKS, you know, my grandfather could drive that, but if you get the 360 odd some horsepower EcoBoost, well, hell, I want it too.
Yeah, you know, when we developed the Infiniti brand 20 years ago, we were looking for an expression that would communicate luxury to the buyer. And to us, there were two elements to that. One had to do with the look of the vehicle and the features of the vehicle, and the other had to do with performance. To us, we had to bring those together to make an Infiniti brand. And that brand is all about inspired performance, and that's really what's driven Infiniti for us. The other important element is technology. Along the way, we've made a real effort to make Infiniti an advanced brand. It's kind of ahead of the curve. So we've introduced things like interactive cruise control, around view monitors, lane departure warning systems. We have a lot of technology. Even the new M, we're going to introduce side obstacle warning and also prevention. So it's more than just telling you something there, it'll actually help you keep the car in your lane. So those kind of, you put those elements together, the look of the vehicle, the features, the performance, and the safety. That's what the Infiniti brand is all about with inspired performance.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think the branding itself, and there's been some recent developments in this which I think are really interesting. For a while, as you suggest, you said, oh, I'll manage my brand and not really worry about whatever everybody else was doing. And we found out, a lot of people found out, you can go down some blind alleys that way. I mean, you don't compete with some brands, you don't compete with Volvo with safety, because Volvo owns safety, right? Well, at least they used to. So you have to be cognizant of where everybody else is and what makes yours different. At the same time, I think the last probably 2 or 3 years, the thing that's been the biggest change for us as automotive marketers is realizing that we don't really own the branding anyway. We can influence it, but the consumer really owns the branding. And that's been the biggest change. Is we're now trying to get to a model where we're communicating with people rather than talking at them, because those people have as much or more influence over the brand as we do. And it's really about how do we move within that circle as much against the competitors.
The reality is, if you really care about your brand, it should be a matter of personal pride. When someone steps into a vehicle that you made, you should feel like you personally are responsible for it. Someone walks through one of our doors in our company, I feel like I should be responsible for the experience they have. That's really what branding's all about. It's about having a personality, having a unique sense of what something is, and delivering that sense to the public, and honestly wanting to deliver it each time they come through the door, whether you sell them a car or a hubcap, or whether they actually come in and get a crown done on their vehicle.
All right, that's it. That's the last time you'll hear me talk about branding, at least for this year. It's clear as mud, but it does cover the ground. Now, when you go into the marketplace to buy a car, remember 2 things. First of all, think about a brand that you trust. Think about a brand that deserves your trust. And the second thing is, why buy new? Buy a 5-year-old car, and we'll help you make it last for 10 years beyond that. You'll have more money to spend more time driving the thing. And speaking of driving, for a long trip, how about 24 hours straight? When we come back, we'll gut it out with a real racing team at the 24 Hours of Daytona.